There's nothing in there now. Was Laura really here this morning? Laura's dress. Could Laura herself have taken it? Now I really am going mad.
Good morning. How was your breakfast?
Fine. Is Samantha in?
She's at university. Would you like me to call her?
Actually, I prefer not to be disturbed. If she comes in, tell her that, will you?
Of course.
What is it, Laura? Keep going, darling. Give me a few more letters. I'm not sure what Laura's trying to say, if that is indeed Laura. I'm not sure what Laura's trying to... There's been a presence in the house. I arranged to see Dr. Ramuskin today. I'm hoping he'll have some insight into the events with Laura.
Dr. Stiles, it's very good to meet you.
Sorry to disturb you.
It's an honor. I remember when your Scientific American article came out, my colleagues and I were thrilled to see such open-mindedness in a leading neurobiologist.
As you can see, things have deteriorated since then.
Please, come inside. On the phone, it sounded important.
One thing you learn as a neurobiologist is that reality is subjective, like the story of the blind man and the elephant. One of my patients had a brain tumor and became convinced his wife was an alien in disguise. Everyone else saw an everyday housewife. He saw something horrible. What clues do we pick up from our environment every day that tell us how to perceive the world? One man sees a pile of logs, another a sleeping giant.
Perception is a slippery thing.
My wife, Laura, died in 2002, but the reality I chose was to keep her alive. In my mind and in my heart. I started experiments in an isolation tank to bring back as many memories of her as possible, even the small and subtle ones. And I didn't give a toss what anyone thought.
And now?
The thing I didn't foresee was that Laura might actually come back.
I've suddenly got quite a chill. Perhaps you'll start from the beginning while I light the fire.
No fire, please.
Oh, please forgive me. I'll call for some tea. I'm quite anxious to hear what you have to say, Dr. Stiles. If you'd start at the beginning, please. It sounds fascinating. I've never performed any experiments with an isolation tank myself, but they may well concentrate certain energies. I'd be happy to help in any way I can. And I'd be very interested in your theories on the phenomenon, as a neurobiologist, if you'd be so kind.
In cases that you're familiar with of hauntings, is it typical for the deceased to obsess over their deaths?
I'd say so, particularly if it was violent.
Laura keeps communicating about the accident, but I'm not sure if there's really something there or if she's just fixated on that moment out of shock.
I know you'll leave no stone unturned finding out. If there's nothing to it, it will be clear soon enough.
Yes, of course. Have you heard of any similar hauntings, for lack of a better word.
Some of the elements, such as the way Laura communicated with you in the tank and the RNG message, these sound like classic communiques from the spirit world. But other things you've described, the moved nightgown, the form under the sheets, and most particularly the events at the university, those sound like PK activity, telekinesis, objects being moved with the power of the mind. Are you positive all these manifestations are Laura?
Of course. One paranormal source is remarkable enough, much less two different ones. Don't you agree?
You have a point.
Studies done with dying and comatose patients have provided some interesting clues about consciousness. There are authenticated cases of the mind projecting itself from the body, witnessing things that occurred far away. If the mind can project itself from the body, then it's possible for consciousness to survive physical death.
Do you have a scientific explanation for how that might work?
Quantum theory suggests that three-dimensional space and time are essentially created by the brain in order to organize the masses of data that make up reality. The brain operates like a translation device, in the same way that a television set organizes bits of electronic data into an image. If the human brain creates space and time, then theoretically the brain could project the mind into the past or future, making itself essentially immortal.
That's astonishing. I hope you intend to publish on this theory.
I'm still conducting my research. Is there any connection between psi activity and heat or fire?
Yes. Telekinesis in particular is very elemental. There's a classic poltergeist case that involved a young girl in the American heartland. The manifestations in her household all revolved around water. Water running down the walls of the house, seeping out of the wallpaper and welling up from the floors. Another classic telekinesis phenomenon is raining stones. And I recall reading about a shaman in East Africa who could make his victims burst into flames. It would all suggest that telekinetic powers are drawn from the earth. But I'm not aware of any studies done on the subject.
Can you tell me more about the East African shaman?
I'll tell you what I remember. It's a well-documented case from the early 1900s, researched by a member of the Society for Psychical Research. He was traveling in Africa when he ran across this shaman. He put the man through a variety of tests and reached the conclusion that the shaman was projecting electricity at strong enough levels to literally start fires, predictably and reliably. This notion seemed confirmed by the odd fact that when the shaman was wet, his fire-starting ability didn't work. Of course, in those days, experiments in electricity were all the rage, so you have to take that into consideration. Still, he made a compelling case.
I'm wondering if the events on campus aren't some kind of psychic residue from Laura's attempts to come through. If she's generating energy, it might get channeled in unpredictable ways.
I can't say, of course, but the energy involved in the campus events is so unusually powerful. It's unlike any spiritual communication I've ever heard of.
But you said yourself you've never dealt with a case that involved an isolation tank.
True. I'm quite curious to see where this is all heading, Dr. Stiles.
Thank you for your expertise, Doctor. There's one more thing. I was hoping you could give me some advice on how I might help Laura. Help her come through.
Dr. Stiles, I'm not sure what you mean by coming through. Earthbound spirits are trapped here because of some unresolved trauma or an inability to accept their own deaths. The goal in such a scenario is to free the spirit so that he or she can move on.
Move on? To what? Oblivion? I mean, what if Laura could be brought back?
But what body would she inhabit? How could she interact with our world? All religions believe that there is some kind of afterlife and...
Yes, thank you, Doctor. I'm afraid it's getting quite late. I must go.
I do hope you'll keep in touch. I'd like to know how this develops.
Of course. Good day.
Goodbye.
Timmins Park. Laura loved the place. Might be a good spot to try to recreate a memory today. Surely it won't be crowded on a dreary weekday.
Look, Mummy, it's a monster.
Shh, sweetheart.
Wow. There's nothing on the park schedule for today. Good, that means fewer people. This is the tree. I carved our initials here on a summer day. The water is calm today. £3 an hour. Lucrative business. They rent boats here. I recognize him. He's been in this park for years. I have a request. There's an old Italian song you used to play. Santa Lucia.
Grazie, grazie. I know you. You used to come here with your wife, Bellissima.
Yes.
She's not with you today?
Not yet. Will you play it?
It would be my pleasure.
A rose garden? That must be recent. I don't remember that.
There's a gardenia in bloom. Laura would place one in her hair if we came here.
That flower might jog some memories.
Don't you pick that flower, sir.
What? And how would that change your day?
Rules is rules, sir. Flowers are here for everyone's enjoyment, not picking.
Listen, I need that flower. I'll pay for it if necessary.
You'll pay, all right. The fine's £2,000.
Hello? Hey, don't take that.
Damn it. She's run off with the gardenia I need.
What game are you playing? It looks like fun. Cat got your tongue? That's a lovely flower. Did you get it here in the park? Can I see it? What's your name? Mine's David. You can tell me. Is it Elizabeth? Anne? My mask is scary looking, isn't it?
What's it for?
It's something like a bandage.
You've got an owie.
That's right. A big owie.
How did you get it?
That's rather a long story, I'm afraid. Will you show me your flower?
How did you get your owie?
It was a fire.
Did it hurt?
Yes. Do you like ice cream? Maybe I could trade you an ice cream for your flower.
My mum wouldn't like it. I scraped my knee once and got an owie. How do you wash your face?
What's your name?
Where did you get that mask?
I had someone make it.
Why?
Because I couldn't find one I liked. What about if I give you a new shiny pound for your flower?
Do you know any tricks? How do you wash your face?
I can take the mask off when I need to.
Will you take it off now?
No, sweetheart. I can't do that. Laura, I can't do it. I can't get that flower. Ow! You mentioned tricks. A beautiful princess I once knew taught me how to do this. Watch.
Higher, do it higher.
Shall I? All right. Watch this.
Rebecca!
I was just showing her a trick. Well, that was pleasant.
Mummy! 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 Oh, let me go back and see the man. I like him.
Ice cream. Laura's favourite was orange-flavoured.
I want one of those orange-flavoured lollies you used to sell. There was vanilla inside.
What, you mean like an orange mivvy?
That's it.
There you go. Don't you like want your change?
Keep it. Laura loved that fountain. We sat on that bench for hours. Laura was the only person who could ever convince me to relax. I'd like to rent a punt, please.
£3, you can take number 12.
We're being utter slugs today. The sun feels amazing.
Some of us are more slug-like than others.
You're such a curmudgeon.
I was referring to myself, of course.
What's your schedule this week, darling?
The usual, nothing earth-shattering.
Good. I was thinking we might go to the cottage this weekend.
We could leave Friday. I suffered some memory loss around the time of the accident. The appointment book isn't helping. But if something unusual happened, perhaps I mentioned it at dinner.
If I did, Simon Helborn might remember.
David, can I get you something?
No, I'm fine. Simon's business card with his phone number.
Hello, David Stiles speaking. Fine, thanks, Veronica. Is Simon available this afternoon? It's urgent.
Okay, thanks. Goodbye.
David! I couldn't believe it when my secretary said you were here. How are you?
Simon, I need your help.
I've offered it 1,000,000 times. Anything.
We had dinner the night before the accident. Amanda, Laura, you and I. Do you remember?
Of course I remember. That was the last time we saw Laura.
Well, I don't. I can't remember anything from that day.
It's not unusual for trauma to cause memory loss.
Yes, I know. Do you remember what I talked about at dinner? Did I mention any of my students?
Not that I recall. Why? What's this about, David?
Damn. What about Amanda? She might remember something.
If it's really important, I could try hypnosis. I've had pretty good success helping patients recover memories.
I didn't think about that. Can we do it now?
If you like. Lie down on the couch. All right, David. I'm going to have you relax. Fully and completely relax. Let go. You're waking up now. Slowly waking up. And it's the morning of October the 21st. You get out of bed. What's the first thing you do?
I took a shower.
What did you think about in the shower?
I was in a foul mood. I don't know why.
You showered and got dressed. What did you do after that? Did you have breakfast?
I had breakfast with Headley, my dean.
Where was this? At Dreadhill House? A coffee shop? The university?
We met at a coffee shop in Oxford.
David, don't let it upset you, sir. The only people who read that journal are the most conservative scientists, people like Linkweller himself. And they already dislike you. Well, it's true. Original thinkers are bound to have their critics. Don't let it discourage you.
I remember. Linkweller's rebuttal had just come out the day before. That's why I was upset and why I had breakfast with Headley.
Right. You mentioned that at dinner. Now we're both remembering. Very good, David. Now you're leaving the coffee shop. What did you do next? Did you have classes that day?
As the infant matures, we see that connections that will last a lifetime are vital message passengers that carry... Yes, it was a lecture.
On what subject?
Neural connectivity in infants. Yes, I'm sure that was it.
Did anything happen during the lecture? Anything to do with the student?
A single brain network can involve billions of neurons. Multiply that by... Yes?
Ah. So, you're suggesting I could levitate or see through women's clothing if only I'd needed to do it when I was 3 months old? Wow. How about teleporting to Mars?
I don't know about those particular skills, Andrews, but one skill you apparently needed at 3 months' end was the ability to pointlessly interrupt. As I was saying, despite the extraordinary number of neural connections that we do form, there are still... There was something... One of Linkweller's cronies. I was annoyed, humiliated by the time I left class.
It's all right. Try to remember the emotion without reliving it. What did you do after class?
I had office hours. There's something... I'm feeling very anxious.
Take a deep breath. This is just a memory. It's not real. Try to watch it impersonally.
There's someone at the door.
You don't have to continue.
No, I do. I said... Enter. Yes? What can I do for you?
Who is it?
I only see a figure. A wild figure.
Is it a student?
I think so. Female. It was a female.
All right, very good. Relax. There was a female student standing in your office, and she said...
I'm Dr. Stiles. What do you want?
I read your article. I had this thing, this power.
Oh, and what power might that be? Outbound flight to Mars?
I thought you could help me. You were the only one who would understand.
Yes, well, apparently not. It's been very amusing. You may leave at any time.
David, are you all right?
Oh, my God. I thought it was a prank. Laura, she remembered.
Laura, what are you talking about? What has this student got to do with anything?
I can't explain. Thanks for the help.
But, David...
David, can I get you something?
No, I'm fine.
Have you seen Samantha? I need to speak with her.
No. She's probably at Oxford.
Why is she never around when a person bloody well needs her? What are you looking at? I'm paying her salary, aren't I?
I never said a word. I did notice that you've gone out quite a lot today. You mustn't overdo it. See how it upsets you? And with Sam in the house and other things. You mustn't push too hard.
I don't plan to make a habit of it. It would take hours to look through all the data. I need to zero in on a specific time. What? What is that? I've never seen anything like that. I wonder if it could have been a power surge. Promising, but it doesn't leave me much data to work with. I'll switch to my older MRI equipment tonight. It should be less sensitive to power spikes. What? What is that? I've never seen anything like that. I wonder if it could have been a power surge. Promising, but it doesn't leave me much data to work with. I'll switch to my older MRI equipment tonight. It should be less sensitive to power spikes. Whatever it is that happened, it happened the same way both nights. That rules out a glitch in the program.
Is that the new electroshockometer? Nice.
Anybody know the whereabouts of Miss Everett?
Little Miss All for One and One for All? She's done a disappearing act.
Sam does seem a little unreliable.
I'm sure she has a good reason. She went to enough trouble to get us here tonight.
Never mind, we'll proceed without her. Close your eyes. Samantha! I found that in my bed this morning. If that rabbit's not careful, he's going to end up as a pair of bunny slippers.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. He must really like you. He's never gotten in bed with anyone but me before. He's not that kind of rabbit.
He's not going to be any kind of a rabbit if he does it again. And you? Where were you last night? I realize that you are not a scientist, Samantha, but there are such principles as test conditions. How on earth can I conduct a valid experiment if I can't even keep something as basic as the test subjects the same every night?
I'm sorry. I thought I could get home on time, but I got delayed and...
I mean, how are the other students to take this seriously when you, my assistant, come and go as you please? Do you think... What is that? What a goose egg. Are you all right? What happened?
I'm fine. I fell down some stairs yesterday. I had to sit for a while. That's, why I was late.
Any double vision? Headache?
No, I'm fine, really.
Well, I think we should go to the hospital right away.
Please, I really don't want to do that. I'm fine. Look, is there anything specific you wanted me to do today?
Actually, there was something. How well do you know Angela and Helena?
Not well. Do you have any reason to suspect them?
Yes, but don't ask me what. I don't have time to explain it. I'd like you to research their backgrounds, how long they've been at Oxford, where they were before, and anything else you can find out. And I'd like you to go over to the weight room and see if anyone saw someone lurking about the place last night.
Okay.
Report back to me later today. And you're not off the hook for last night. Don't do it again.
Helena and Angela?
You better stay put, Houdini. I think you're running out of chances with the big guy.